Okay, you guys, so Haley's going to continue to work on her math, and I am going to try to get Munchies to eat more of his food. I'm trying to wean him off of his all-seed diet. Now, I've only had him for 6 days, and he's doing pretty good, but what I have put him on and what eventually I would like for him to concentrate on eating more of is I got him the Supreme. Let me show you. The Supreme Natural, and this is the size for the small, or I'm sorry, medium birds. Okay, this is all natural. It doesn't have any added colors to it, and this is preferred for your bird because the dyes that they put in the colored pellets isn't good. Okay, so I'm trying to get him used to it. I mean, obviously I can't take all of his seeds away, and the seeds that he was on were really just like from the grocery store, and so they weren't good quality seeds. The trick here is I've got a cat over there on his cat tree that he was afraid of the bird, but now he's starting to get used to the bird in the house. So I have trimmed Munchie's wings so he cannot take flight in the house any longer, because that excited both my dog, which is a very small 10-pound Jack Russell Terrier, and I have a very scaredy cat, 15-pound domestic cat, and he is afraid of everything. However, he is starting to get a bit braver, and he gets very excited when the bird takes flight. So I am going to have to do this while Munchies is in the cage. So I have put his breakfast / now it's become lunchtime. So I did leave his food in here so that he would self-feed. I took his seed out this morning, and in his seed I also have the pellets in their natural form. But this morning what I did is, let me take this. This morning what I did is I soaked his pellets in some filtered water. I heated up the water and I soaked his pellets in it so that it would soften them, and I added just a drop of agave sweetener into it. You can see he's excited. He sees that I've got his plate of food. I've also mushed up a piece of mango and some pumpkin, just straight pumpkin puree here, and that is what I offered him for breakfast. So he's got a vegetable, a fruit, and then he's got his pellets here. He did not eat much. He took some of the pumpkin, some of the mango, and I saw him take a few bites of the pellets, which I'm not real happy with the amount that he ate. So my friend Ronnie, who has had birds and knows more about what she's doing than me, she sent me some what is called chop, uncooked chop, and she puts it together herself, and she sent it to me and I cooked it. Now, essentially what chop appears to be to me is seeds. And it does have some oats in it, I think. I don't know what's all in it. She just sent it to me, told me how to cook it, and he loves it. Now, I did make some pork fried rice the other night, and before I added the pork and the seasoning to it, and the peas and the carrots, well, actually, I added the brown rice. I cooked the brown rice, and I added the peas and carrots. And before I added seasoning, before I added the pork, I pulled out a little bit of the rice, the peas, and the carrots for him, and I put a little bit of it into the chop, and then I froze it. So now, and I put it in these little cups and froze it. So now I can just pull out a cup of this, and it lasts me a few days. So I heated that up because he seems to like his food warm. And see how excited he is? He's like, okay, now she's gonna feed it to me, which he prefers for me to feed it to him. So this morning what I did is I really wanted him to eat the mushed up pellets. That's what I wanted him to concentrate on, because I would really like for him to eat this and get off of the store-bought seeds. Now I am still going to offer him the Nutriberry seeds, so he still will get seeds, 2 to 3 of the bigger Nutriberry seeds a day. They're balls, and he does like them, and he has been eating them. But before I can take his daily seeds away from him completely, he's got to start eating at least a teaspoon of these pellets a day to replace the seed nutrition. Okay, so before I do that, he's got to transition completely off of the seed to this. So that's why I've got to wet it to get him to start eating it. I put the agave in there to make it sweeter, so I might, since he liked the mango so much this morning, I may need to mix it in with the mango. So, I mean, it's just trial and error at this point. I'm just going to have to see what he prefers. So I'm going to turn his cage this way, scoot his water over. But anyways, this morning what I did is I put this cup in here because he likes to dip his food. So I thought that if he wanted to dip food, he would have this little cup and he wouldn't have to walk all the way back up here. This is the cage he came in, and this is not an appropriate cage for a parrot. So we have ordered a cage off of Amazon, and it should be getting here within the week. So right now this is a temporary cage. This isn't at all appropriate for him, but for now this is what he's got, and so this is what we're using. So I just got these temporary cups from the pet store, and so this is what we're using. So what I'm going to do is I have these little popsicle sticks. Since if I could bring him out, I would just do this on my finger, but I can't get my finger through the rungs. So I am simply going to get some of this mango, and I'm going to just kind of smush some of these wettened pellets into the mango, because I really want him. Haley, come finish your work, please, to eat this. And I'm going to offer it to him up here on this perch. I'm offering it to him. He would prefer me to feed him. Which is fine. I don't mind doing that. But I'm not going to be able to do that for him all the time. So he's going to have to get used to not being hand-fed. And it could just be because this is all new to him. Now I know his first owner did feed him food, you know, nutritionist food. But then his second owner, we believe, and that's the hard thing, is I don't know I don't have any information about how long he was with his second owner, what kind of interaction he got from his second owner.
And you is him.
What kind of food he was fed, but I suspect that he was purely on a seed diet and not a quality seed diet, which is what I suspect. So see, he's eating it now since I've mixed the mango in with the pellets. That's good. Good boy. So now I just have mostly pellets. This one doesn't have mango in it, and he's eating it fine. He just wants me to feed him. He's 4 years old.
Let him do a little baby, like
But I'm reintroducing. It's hard to get birds off of seed because they really would prefer seed, but it isn't the best thing for them nutritionally. Okay, he's probably going to take a break now. Let me scoot his water back over.
almost done, Grandma. And I just want to paint him.
I don't think I'm going to have a hard time getting him switched over because he doesn't hate it. But he really, really loves
Seeds.
his seeds. Which offering him the chop is good because it is seeds. It's just cooked seeds.
No.
Want some more?
Oh, deal, buddy. I can't paint you well. Will you move it over? Hey, boy.
Okay, so Haley, you still need to finish writing rectangle over there.
I can't, cause it's hard to get up.
You can.
What are you doing? I don't
Some more?
couldn't build a pizza.
Good boy. Good boy.
I really love painting if you hold Dale, buddy.
Okay, so he's coming back over.
If you get you over, please. I'll be back back.
I put a little bit of chop on it that time. So he took the piece of chop off. But then he still came back and took some more of the wettened pellets.
I think I'm done. You sure you're done? Because I'm going to paint you on the board, but you have to hold you. I'm going to grab a paper tail.
And he does knock a lot off, but I don't care.
Paper tail, buddy. I'm going to paint on this paper tail with this paint.
No, we're not going to use that paint.
I just want to use it. Deal, buddy. Stay. Stay where you want it.
So I haven't given him his seed yet because I wanted him to eat this stuff rather than getting filled up on seed this morning. And so what he's doing now is he's pulling things off of the bottom of the grate most of it has fallen down to the bottom of the cage, but the stuff that's fallen and gotten caught on the grate is he's pulling that off of the grate and eating it, and like he just pulled a big chunk of the pellet off and he's eating it. So I know that he likes it. I know that it tastes good to him, but it's just he's not used to it. It's not seed. So see, he just grabbed another piece of the moistened pellet. So the idea is to get him to where I don't have to moisten the pellets anymore, to where he'll eat them hard. That was a big bite of pumpkin and pellet. Good boy, Munchies.
Oh dear, Munchies, please. I guess Toffee is maybe a little bit jealous.
Good job, buddy. Good job. That's good. That's good. This is the first time that I've given him pumpkin, and he really, at first he wasn't sure, and I didn't think he was going to eat it, but once he took a bite of it, he was sold. He was like, okay, yep, that's good. And you want to make sure you get pureed pumpkin when you buy it in the can. You don't want to get pumpkin pie puree. You want to get pumpkin.
You remember Pumpkin raised Easter bunnies?
And mangoes in Colorado are expensive, number one, and number two, they're out of season now. So it's better to just get frozen. It's always better to get frozen and not canned when you can. So this is a mix that I got at Costco that is just frozen fruit, and it's actually a smoothie mix, and it's got peaches, strawberries, pineapples, and mangoes in it. So that gives me the variety of picking out, and he can have all of those fruits. But this morning I just picked out one little cube of mango and heated it up because it was frozen, and just mushed it up a little bit. He would rather have his food mushed rather than eating it whole, and I'm hoping that I can get him past that as well.
Mom, we should get us these.
No, we're not opening those. Use the ones that you've got. So that was a big chunk, and he just pretty much spit it all out. He's still eating though, like he's still eating a lot. So before, he would go down and take little bites of it, but he really wasn't that interested in his food. He seriously wants me to sit here and feed it to him, which I don't know, and you guys can leave comments down below if you've experienced this. Now, I can understand baby birds wanting this kind of feeding, but I didn't expect it from a 4-year-old. My only experience with birds were Quakers, and my Quakers did like to be fed, but they didn't require me to feed them in order for them to get to eat, you know, an adequate amount of food. So he's still standing here and he's looking like, are you gonna give me more? Are you gonna give me more? Is that good? Good boy, Munchies.
Beak.
Good boy, Munchies.
Oh dear, Munchies is trying to follow you at each. Move so much.
So he took all of that. He didn't spill any of it. Oh, he's trying to get my finger. He's not trying to bite me. He just wants to lick me. He's actually, you know, I was told that he was aggressive and that I had to be really careful with him around the girls and really careful, and that he was a biter and that he was cage dominant and all of this, and he hasn't showed any of those signs at all. He's fine around the girls. They can handle him. I can handle him. The only reason why I have to keep him in the cage at this point is because of the other animals in the house. Otherwise, we would have him out. But for his safety, the only way I can have him out is if I'm in a room with him and the other animals are locked out, which I do that both in the morning when we first get up, and then I do it in the evening when we go to bed. And I spend a good hour
To give him a bath.
with him in the morning and a good hour with him at night. Right now he's sleeping in my room. Because this cage I can transport it. So he is sleeping in our room, and that's because I don't want the other animals to be able to knock this cage over. But when he gets his permanent cage, he'll be down here in the family room, which is connected. It's all open, our kitchen and our family room. He'll be down here permanently.
And I had to watch him every day. Every morning.